Hello, and welcome to this talk about the Institute of Refrigeration membership grades. My name is Miriam Rodway, and I work as CEO as the Institute of Refrigeration. I'm going to give you a quick introduction to the different grades and the different grade requirements, and how our new members are elected to the grade, as well as how those who wish to change their grade can apply for advancement. So first of all, quick word about the Institute of Refrigeration. The Institute of Refrigeration has a small office team of 6 staff, but we're actually run by many hundreds of volunteers, people who write our technical guidance notes, who join our committees, who take part in our events and give talks. So we really do rely on you, our members, to get much more heavily involved in what's going on and produce the content. We have a number of networks and events, conferences, things taking place online and in person. And we also have a mentoring scheme so that new members can be paired up with an existing member to help them to progress through. So the grades available of membership include member, associate, pre-associate, technician, student, and fellow. There's a lot more information on our website that explains the different grades in more detail, and you can always go back and take a look at any time. So here's a table that explains the two main grades, the two largest grades of membership that we have, which are member and associate member. So starting on the left, members of the Institute of Refrigeration have the initials MN* after their name on their business cards, LinkedIn profiles, and on their signature of their emails. So these are individuals with considerable knowledge about their role. They're able to do technical work, but it may not necessarily be engineering based. It may be in another role in terms of sales or HR or a broader role, but they do have a strong theoretical knowledge related to their work within the sector and can demonstrate their experience at a management level, at a senior level in leadership terms. They may have specific qualifications or be members of other similar bodies such as ASHRAE or the Engineering Council, and they have a senior level appointment within their organization. So let's compare that to associate members. So the associate members still have significant practical and theoretical knowledge. They can identify and correct operational faults and have influence in their business in many other ways as well. They are probably working in a junior level in management or in their first senior level in management, but don't have a great deal of experience in terms of time served in that role. And there are some examples here of the type of job titles: service and maintenance engineer, technician, a sales manager, an HR manager. Those sorts of things illustrate the level involved. Then when we come to making a decision about what grade an applicant will be allocated, our membership committee, which is made up of up to 12 volunteers, individuals such as yourself who are working in the sector and familiar about the different organizations and roles and how the sector works. They will look at a membership form which has been completed online, and the form will include a full career history and CV and details of qualifications held. In fact, we ask people to upload the actual qualification certificates, and also a statement about their experiences and their job roles, explaining a little bit about the kind of work they do. So there's no easy way to explain the different grade criteria, because really they're made of a mixture of experience and qualifications. And no two applications are the same. People will have different types and lengths of qualification of experience and different relevant qualifications. But this is the essential guidance here. You see on our second line here that for members without qualifications, they would need at least 10 years experience at an important responsibility. I'll explain what we mean by that in a minute. And then if they do have qualifications, that requirement is lessened. For example, if they have a degree, it would only be 3 years experience. So there is a combination there. Experience is reduced as qualification levels increase. All members must have received a sponsor a reference. That sponsor will be asked to confirm that the information provided on their form is correct, and also state about the general person. And all these applications, as I said, are reviewed by our membership committee. Moving over to associate member, so it's quite similar. They need some responsibility rather than important responsibility. And again, options going through. So if they don't have any qualifications, they would at least need 7 years of responsibility in that job. And then going through to having a degree. If they have previously been a student member of the institute, they can join as an associate immediately on graduating. Again, they still need a sponsor reference to confirm their qualifications and experience, and the committee will look at all of the information provided before they're making a judgment on which grade is going to be allocated. And don't forget that once you become a member of the Institute of Refrigeration, you are eligible to apply for Engineering Council registration. This is only available to individuals who are members of a professional body affiliated with the Engineering Council, such as the Institute of Refrigeration. So coming on to the difference between important responsibility. So in order to achieve member grade, you are going to have to show that you are in a leadership role. So that might be a team leader or leading in some other way within your role. So it will be a very high level managerial position and responsible for other employees. So we can be fairly flexible here. So they may not be your direct line reports, but it may be that you're running projects where you're responsible for other people in other roles and making sure that team achieves the desired objectives of the work. So people working under your direction, or maybe you are a salesperson which has a very important client base and that responsibility is reflected in your work. Generally, we would expect members to have design and technical knowledge in order to work at a practical level. But of course, if you're working in a non-engineering role, then you have to be able to demonstrate your knowledge of your role, your knowledge of your profession, and how that relates to the refrigeration industry. Now, the number of years of experience is important, and it counts from the time that you started that role. So if you've just moved up into a director or leader or managing director role, really we would expect you to have had several years in that role before you'd be eligible for membership. As part of the way of evaluating whether that responsibility is suited to the member grade requirements, every applicant is invited to write a short professional statement. This is all done online, and there is space and guidance within the online application form. So there are 3 sections for you to explain a bit about your professional experience. The first one asks you to talk about how you've applied knowledge in your current and recent roles. The second one looks for you to provide examples of the responsibilities of your role and giving a little bit more idea about the size of the company, the number of staff that you're working with, the way you are involved in important decision making or strategy development, and the management of the different people that you're working with. So there's lots of options and possibility to explain a bit more about how your organization is structured and your role within that structure. And we do emphasize that whilst the expectation is, of course, that you will be involved in refrigeration, air conditioning, and heat pumps, you do not have to be a design engineer or an engineering role. It can be quite broadly within that organization. And the third section of that professional experience asks you to tell us a little bit about what you've been doing to keep yourself up to date with changes in technology in the sector. Very important that anyone who joins a professional body can demonstrate their commitment to their own ongoing professional development, and that is why you join an institute in order to keep yourself up to date, and those membership initials reflect your commitment to your profession and to your skills. So in addition to those 2 grades, there are 4 other grades of membership that I want to go into some detail on. So there is a technician grade of membership. So this is really for people working in field engineer roles, things like commissioning engineers, service engineers, maintenance engineers. The requirements here are that they must hold an F-gas qualification, as that's a legal requirement, and they must have at least 3 years experience in that role. That's confirmed by reference from an employer. And once they have joined as a technician, they can potentially apply to the Engineering Council, and they can use the initials TM in star after their name. So this is a grade of membership which provides excellent value for money, as the members also get access to a whole load of practical good practice guides that are mailed to them every quarter. So it's something that if you're an employer, you might consider wanting to sign up several employees for, and we can offer some discounts for those sorts of things. In terms of the one on the right there, the pre-associate. So pre-associate has been created for individuals who don't quite have enough experience to achieve associate grade. So that's allocated just for 3 years, just to get them started and show that they are on the route towards becoming an associate member. We also support them with a mentoring program where we pair them with an existing member who can help explain the grading requirements and how they can build their experience and their levels of responsibility in the roles that they have. As pre-associates, they don't have rights to vote and stand as trustees yet because it's a temporary grade. And then we have affiliates. So really a bit of a catch-all. So for anyone who's just interested in the sector but doesn't have the right level of responsibilities or roles that would fit with the other grades, but they want to keep informed. So this one is for people on peripheral industries who just are interested in what's happening in the institute and in the industry. In this case, there is no requirement to have somebody to write a sponsor reference, and it is not reviewed by the membership committee, and as a result they don't have voting rights and they're not eligible to influence the management of the institute by standing as a trustee or president. But they are just gives a route for people who want to keep informed to get involved, and it's a fairly straightforward application process. We just need their details, correspondence details, etc. And then finally, we have students. So we're very keen to get young people involved, new people who are joining the industry, to get them involved in the institute. So this needs to be signed off by their tutor. Again, it's for a maximum of 3 years, and after which we would hope they'd be able to move up into technician or pre-associate level. It's free for apprentices, so we're very happy to hear from tutors at colleges who wish to enroll their apprentices as free during the duration of their course. And again, no voting rights, not standing as a trustee as it's a temporary grade. So that's a very quick overview of the different grades, and you can go onto our website and you can find some more details. You can download a PDF which summarizes this, and as this is a recorded webinar, you can go back and look at it or freeze frame on anything you want to review in more detail. So a little bit of background about how our committee make the decision on the grade. We have this membership committee, which is up to 12 individuals, and every month they review all of the applications that require review, and they'll look at the full CV, the background experience, the statements, and they'll take into account the sponsor recommendation. We do require the qualification copies to be uploaded so that we can confirm that they are appropriate, and often because there's so many qualifications, it's quite hard to work out the equivalents. So we like to see the full qualification, and we like to see a full background check, really a complete CV, not just the last couple of years, but a complete CV for any new applicants that understand their range of experience in our sector and in other associated work. The final thing in terms of grading that you may be aware of is that we have a grade called Fellow. So Fellows of the Institute of Refrigeration, you will see, have the initials F in star after them, and they also have a gold member badge was given to them. So the grade of Fellow is given to somebody who's been involved in the Institute for quite a substantial period of time. They are people who are distinguished as individuals, as ambassadors for our industry and technical leaders. So that means they're going out into the wider world, giving technical talks, taking part in things like standards committees, other committees and groups, maybe being actively involved in branches, being actively involved in promoting our industry and raising its profile. They have shown a commitment to advancement of the refrigeration technologies, air conditioning and heat pumps. They are leaders both in work and in technology, actively involved in shaping the Institute of Refrigeration, so they're contributing to committees, working groups, really getting very heavily involved. And anyone can apply for, who fits the criteria can apply for Fellow. We look at those applications in March, and then the results of those reviews from the membership committee are announced in April. And I do hold regular webinars all about Fellows, so look out for those if that's something of interest to you. And just to remind any non-members who are listening in that once you become a member, you can use the initials after your name if they are allocated to you, and we do encourage people to use that to help show their affiliation. You can apply for Engineering Council registration, and of course you'll get regular news, social media, invites to events, invites to join committees where we have vacancies, etc. Once you have joined and you've paid your membership fee, you will get immediate access to the website where you can download any of our past publications and view any of our past webinars. So we also encourage all of our members to try and get more involved. You know, we put out calls for working groups, committees, comments and consultations. So please do look out for those and find ways to get more involved in the Institute of Refrigeration. And so just to close, here is a picture of myself with my membership certificate. I'm a member of the Institute as well. And if you have any queries, you can contact me or our membership secretary at any time, and you can find all the details about the grades and more on our website. And if you're not a member, you can apply online, and some of that information about the grading, it talks you through when you do your online application. So I hope you found that useful and interesting. And if you have any queries, do get in touch with us. Thanks for listening.